Hello, I'm that friend. I was sitting out on my patio this morning, thinking about you, trying to think of different ways that I could help you. I thought if I had some ideas or information that I could put out there, maybe I could give someone a little bit of hope or relief. One of the things that I know I struggle with, that so many people struggle with, is disabling and defeating anxiety. I understand it. I know how it feels, and it is absolute torture. For me, anxiety comes really from two places: my thoughts and as a physical response. And with thoughts, a lot of times it's that I start thinking about something and it stresses me out, and I go deeper and deeper and deeper into those thoughts, and they're out of control. And it gives me anxiety. So when it comes to thoughts, there are so many strategies that are readily available to help calm our minds and put us at ease. Most of the time, though, my anxiety isn't from my thoughts. It's a physical response to something that triggers me. That can be someone's footsteps being too loud, or a voice being too loud, or maybe someone's tone of voice, or something they say. Or it can be something that I don't even know what it is, but my body reacts to it and it creates a feeling of anxiety. It's a physical reaction that can start me spiraling. I think that type of anxiety is more complex to recognize and control. In general, it does take time and reflection to really get good at controlling anxiety. There are things you can do that offer some instant relief, but really managing it really well happens through consistency over time. So I want to share with you some things that worked for me that I was able to build on. The first is reflection. I try to reflect on past anxiety with the benefit of hindsight. I identify what triggered me if I can, what I did with the feeling, what my thoughts were, and whether they made them better or worse. Then, moving forward, because it will come again, as soon as I start to feel anxiety, I try to recognize it as early as possible. In the moment that I realize a feeling of anxiety, or maybe it's overwhelm or grief, instead of leaning into those feelings and creating even more of an experience with them, I try to step back and say, okay, what is happening? Why am I having these feelings? And most of the time, I don't know. It is important to recognize, if you can, your triggers. Reflect on the good and bad aspects of how you handled it, and create a plan to recognize those feelings earlier and deal with them better because you have a plan in place. The second is to counteract the chemical process. Anxiety is produced by a chemical process in our bodies. So it makes sense to me that we can relieve anxiety through a chemical process as well. I call it burning off my anxiety. Depending on where I am and what I can do, I might run in place or do a puke-worthy workout routine. If I can increase my heart rate and chemically change how I feel naturally, that's good. There were times when I was really in the thick of it and was desperate to make my life suck less. It got to the point where I was doing 15 to 20 minute on my knees puke-worthy workouts 4 to 5 times a day. But that is how I got through the anxiety that comes along with going no contact. Getting your heart rate up is one phenomenal way that you can deal with anxiety. It's an amazing strategy for sure. I know, though, it can be hard to be capable of moving in the midst of it, but plan for it and force yourself to attempt it. The third one is distract and contain. I have learned through therapy and education different ways to distract myself from anxiety instead of sitting in it or thinking about it. That's what brings me into the black hole of spiraling, thinking about it, digging into it, and can lead to a panic attack. In advance, as soon as you recognize the feeling of anxiety, make a decision that you are not going to dig into it. I know that if I start feeding into it, spending too much time thinking about it, and maybe running around like a maniac trying to get things done to solve it, it makes it worse. I've worked hard to control my thoughts and energetically step away from the feeling, block it from my mind and say, I'm shutting it down, not today. But then if there is action that I need to take about something that is causing the anxiety, I do that, but I do it when I am in a mental state that is clear and calm, where I am better equipped to think through it. Another is to work on controlling it by avoiding it. Do that. If you can walk away or take a break from what's causing it, do that for yourself. Fourth strategy is nervous system regulation. Stretches, somatic moves can help activate your parasympathetic nervous system. This is what puts you into a state of calm by alleviating your anxiety. Look it up and learn more. It might help your body release some of the trauma it's storing to give you some permanent relief even. Just please remember that sometimes life really sucks, and the lasting physical effects from trauma and abuse can be incredibly overwhelming. They are not a life sentence. You will not always have to endure them like you do now. Decide to have a life that sucks a little less by creating a plan in advance so you can give yourself some relief when that anxiety sets in.